Hari Om, Bhagavad-gita chanting, Chapter 10, verses 31 to 42.
Pavana pavatamasmi Ramah shastrabhritamaham Jhashanam makaraschasmi Srotasamasmi jannavi Sarganamadhirantascha Madhyam chaivahamarjuna Adhyatma vidya vidyanam Vadah pravadatamaham Aksharanamakarosmi Dvandvas samasikasya cha Ahamevakshaya kalaha Dhataham vishvato mukhaha Mrityus sarvaharashchaham Udbhavascha bhavishyatam Kirti shrirvakcha narinam Smritirmedha dhriti kshama Brihat sama tatha samnam Gayatri chandasamaham Masanam margashirshoham Ritunam kusumakaraha Dyutam chalayatamasmi Tejas tejasvinamaham Jayosmi vyavasayosmi Sattvam sattvavatamaham Vrishninam vasudevosmi Pandavanam dhananjayaha Muninamapyaham vyasaha Kavinamushana kavihi Dando damayatamasmi Nitirasmi jigishatam Maunam chaivasmi guhyanam Jnanam jnanavatamaham Yacchapi sarvabhutanam Bijam tadahamarjuna Na tadasti vinayat syat Maya bhutam characharam Nantosti mama divyanam Vibhutinam parantapa Esha tuddeshatah proktaha Vibhutirvistaro maya Yadyad vibhutimat sattvam Shrimadurjitameva va Tattadevavagachatvam Mama tejosha sambhavam Athava bahunaitena Kim jnatena tavarjuna Vishtabhyahamidam kritsnam Ekanshena sthito jagat
Oh. Sahana Vavatu Sahano Punaktu Saha Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti. Yes. 32.
Sarganamadirantashcha मध्यं चैवाहमर्जुन अध्यात्मविद्या विद्यानां वादः प्रवदतामहम् सर्गाणामादिरन्तश्च मध्यं चैवाहमर्जुन अध्यात्मविद्या विद्यानां वादः प्रवदतामहम्.
Of creations, I am the beginning and the end, and also the middle. O Arjuna, of knowledges, I am the knowledge of self. Of arguments, Vada, logic. See, if you, of course, I'm sure you would have forgotten by now. You read the verses, in the 20th verse itself, he has stated already that I am the Adi and the all that. I am the beginning, I am the middle, I am the end, and all that. He has already stated it. Right. Now again he is repeating the same thing. Of creations, I am the beginning and the end and also the middle. Why is he repeating now? Repetition is not accepted in the scriptures. So we say what? So the commentator comes. This is where commentators come and help us. First of all, we should remember to say there is a repetition. Right? If you don't remember, it's okay. Now, even if you don't do it, they will bring it up. They themselves raise the question and give answer also. They say, yeah. What he referred to there, he was referring to the sentient beings. Creation has two things, no? Sentient and insentient. So the context there was referring to the sentient beings. So there he says all three. I created the sentient, I am the middle of the sentient, I am the end of the sentient. Same way, he says here, I am the origin, I sustain, I end. Like ocean and waves. And then you can give examples. That's not a big problem, in fact. So that way it is very easy. What is the difference we need to understand? He is referring to the insentient objects here. There it is a sentient beings. So therefore, there is no repetition justified. Of knowledges, Vidyanam, Adhyatmika Vidya. I am the knowledge of the self. Why I am the knowledge of the self? There are many knowledges we have in the world. The knowledge of the self is so unique here. The knowledge of chemistry, knowledge of mathematics, knowledge of management, music, dance, so many branches of knowledge we have. Of all the knowledges, he says, I am this knowledge. The knowledge that we are studying now, Atma Vidya. I am that. Why I am this knowledge, not other knowledges? Because all other knowledges has a defect. There is a dosha inherent in that. There are many doshas in that. One of the doshas inherent in those things is, more you gain that knowledge, more you will feel the need to gain more knowledge. Right? Every question gets an answer, and every answer becomes the source for 10 more questions. Like Swamiji says, Wait, there will be a time when you will find 5 specialists dealing with 5 fingers. The doctor will say, sir, I am a specialist in thumb only. If there is any problem with your index finger, don't come to me. I'll refer to the doctor. You go there. Specialization. Specialization means what? That's what we do now. Don't worry. It's not long. Another 25, 30 years. You will have specialists who says, I deal only with this. I deal only with this. Why? More and more you study, more and more you start feeling the incompleteness. That's what Einstein says. What is my knowledge compared to my ignorance? No satiation possibility with any knowledge. Whereas this Atma Vidya satiates the quest. All other knowledges were like drinking Pepsi and Coke when you are thirsty. What happens? Of course, Pepsi, Coke, Fanta, Sprite, 7-Up, all that. Don't say, we don't drink. We take only, Sprite, sir. Coke, I don't drink. What is the difference? The thirst is drinking water or Coke and Pepsi. When you drink Coke, Pepsi and all that, what happens? It kindles your thirst more. More you drink that, more it dehydrates. Isn't it? When you drink water, it hydrates your body. When you're drinking Pepsi and Coke, what is happening? Dehydration happens. But you go on drinking. So by drinking more, what will happen? More dehydration. Therefore, what you have to do? Drink more. Therefore, what happens? More dehydration. Therefore, what? More need for drinking. More you drink. It's a vicious cycle. Whereas when you drink water, what happens? You felt dehydrated, you have consumed water, that's it. It comes to an end. It stops. That's why we call it as Vedanta. Your quest for seeking ends. There's no more seeking. No more need to know. So if you say that, sir, I want to study that, I want to study this, I want to study that textbook, this textbook and all that, means you are not pursuing Atma Vidya. You are pursuing something else. Atma Vidya is what? You gain this knowledge, get it. Of all knowledges, I am that Atma Vidya, self-knowledge. Dosha number 1. Dosha number 2. The defect number 2. The problem number 2 is, in all other knowledges, if 2 professionals were to meet, 2 experts were to meet, there is always arrogance and envy. It's impossible that you can have expert. With reference, of course, ignorant people, you will always say, I'm a very humble person, sir. All that. But not with reference to another expert. That's impossible. Either you will feel jealousy or you will feel arrogant. Only in this knowledge, both are not possible. Neither feel arrogant nor you feel jealous. Somebody has this Atma Vidya. You won't feel jealous of that person. Whereas in all other subjects, you will find a person going in this. A musician sees another musician who is singing better than him. There's a subtle sense of insecurity comes in. Not in terms of, he will get more audience, more money, more name, more fame and all that. Not in that sense. that is too gross. The sheer, for that you should have met people like that. Only then you'll understand what I'm speaking. It's nothing of that. It's not that, he will get more audience. I will not get more kacheris will come for him. I will get less kacheris. Not in that sense. It's just that fact. That's why everyone doesn't become a great musician. Legendary musicians. A few we call as legendary musicians. Why? Because they did not pursue this music as this. They pursued this as what? As upasana. Music is upasana for them. That's why few people were called as Natha Upasakas. They don't pursue this as, as my profession. It's not a profession for them. It's not a hobby. Either or else you'll call it as hobby. My hobby is neither a hobby nor this. It is upasana. Now, Atma Vidya, when you pursue your knowledge as upasana, it becomes Atma Vidya. Then we go to the philosophical interpretation of it. The third one is the philosophical interpretation. Point number 3. There are two aspects. One is other subjects versus this subject as such. Vedanta as a subject. First we saw Atma Vidya as a subject. Now we are going into the meaning of the word Atma Vidya. You say, okay, what is this Atma Vidya we are talking about? Now, whenever we talk about knowledge, all knowledges is nothing but I know. Correct? I know. This Atma Vidya is, what is it that which enables you to know that I know? That is Atma Vidya. I know that I know. I know that I do not know. I know that I know something. I know that I do not know something. That something will vary. Like, use example. I know your name. I do not know your father's name. I know Suresh Rao. I do not know who is Suresh Rao's father's name. Correct? I don't know. I know your name. I also know that I don't know your father's name. So what is it that which is making me to know what I know? What is it that is which is making me to know what I do not know? Whenever we are discussing about knowledges, we are discussing about what I know. Right? Versus what I do not know. I know English. I don't know Hindi. Right? I know. I don't know. So whenever we are discussing in general knowledge, what are we referring to? The list of things that you know. List of things that you do not know never comes in this category. So he says Atma Vidya is that which is enabling you to know your knowledge, know your ignorance. That which illumines. What is that? knowing that is Atmavidya, self-knowledge. So he says, I am that. So of all knowledges, I am that. Beautiful explanation. Beautiful expression, I meant. I don't mean explanation. Beautiful expression of saying, of all knowledges, I am knowledge of the self. Vadah Pravatatamaham. Pravatata means arguments, debates. Of that, I am Vada, says. Of all arguments, I am Vada. Now, what is so interesting is, he is not saying, I am Samvada. Follow. That's where we get a clue. Of all the arguments, of all the discussions, I am Vada only, he says, not Samvada. Why? Because Samvada, there is no argument. Samvada happens only between student and the teacher. Iti Srimad Bhagavadgita Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade. Isn't it? What is the Samvada here? It is a conversation, it's a discussion, or it is a question and answer session between the teacher and the student. The student asks questions to the teacher, probing questions, almost like argumentative questions, most like, hey, you said that, you are just born now, and you are saying you taught viewers one. No. Can I answer? That's how he speaks. That's how he's asking. In the 4th chapter, that's what he asks. You say, I taught this to Manu, I taught this to Vivaswan. Same thing I'm teaching you. Hey, I know your birthday. Krishna Jayanti we are celebrating. And you're saying you taught that fellow? Nah. That's how he speaks. But still we call that as what? Samvada. Why? Because the questions were raised to remove the ignorance in me. So we see through questions the removal of ignorance. So you go to someone, surrender to that person, with humility, you ask questions to clarify your doubts. That is called a samvada. Here, that's not the point. Here it is. Then there is a difference of opinion between the two. Discussion happens, no? I carry an opinion, you carry an opinion. Now there is a debate between you and me. Now there is a even if you call it as conversation, argument, discussion, debate, you use any word, we don't care. But fundamentally, what is the difference? I have a disagreement with you and you have a disagreement with me. Now we are engaging in there is an interaction between you and me. There comes this idea of Vada. What is this Vada? And in this they say there are 3 types. Vada, Vidanda and Jalpa. There are 3 ways in which after having a difference of opinion, a discussion were to happen, a debate were to happen, it can happen in three ways. One way is called Vada, another way is called Vitanda, another way is called Jalpa. So Krishna says, I am Vada here. So what is this? Vidanda Jalpa we'll see first. Right. Now of that, this Jalpa is the lowest. Lowest category is that. Jalpa means without proposing your position. You don't propose your position at all. Without you proposing your positions, stating explicitly what is your position, what is your take, you go on criticizing the other person. Okay, what is your stake? What is your position on this point? That will not be stated. But whatever you say is wrong. Then how he will go about it? They will, how that opposition also, how this critiquing also will be happening is more with reference to the person than the points. Your line of thinking. I can criticize your line of thinking, or I can criticize you as a person. Isn't it? In Jalpa, what is this? He will attack the person than the points. See, so the whole idea is coming out of arrogance. Jalpa. Mostly it will be like belittling. Bhushana, say. Belittle. So why these guys are coming to bat, I don't understand. Retire and get out, no? Sit in the bench. I don't know why he is still playing. What are you doing? You are frustrated. Right? Out of your frustration, without considering any other factors, what you do? Simply these fellows come and sit to sing. I don't know why they start singing all this. All this to, the programs that comes on TV. Many times you will see that. I don't know how on earth these people are accepted for singing. Apaswaram. Shruti is going somewhere, they are going somewhere. Notes are not falling in the place. And they simply memorize it and come and sing. Can clearly make out. It's memorized. People memorize even the swaras and all that, Swaras, this and all that. A lot of kids, they come and sing. Such a difficult song they sing. They're memorized. You ask him, okay, what is this Sangadi? Explain that. And all I don't know. Those things and all I don't know. But I have memorized it. And I sing. Now, why don't you sing? Okay, do you know anything about music? I don't know about that. But it sounded to my ears like that. Many times, when these Mridangam players, they play, it's difficult to, decipher what's happening. They change, the nadai, they say. And the singer changes that and all this, 2-3 places, you will feel that, something wrong going. But factually, nothing wrong is happening. As per the tala, he is moving. As per the speed, he is moving. As per the beat, he is moving. That beat and the speed is there. But in that, there are many places where we cannot make out. We don't know that kala pramana. We don't know about all those things. He's implicit there. Listen, we feel, nah. That's what it is. That is Jalpa. This Vedanta is, you state your position, but you bring out, insignificant objections, irrelevant objections. That's not the context at all, actually. You object to the other person. Like in debates, you will find this a lot. Debate. You can't criticize the other person. Not allowed. So Jalpa, in one word, criticism. Vedanta, in one word, debate. In debate, what do? Without using the right pramana or right yukti. Without the right means. For this should be the pramana. This should be the means. This is the process through which you have to go. Like, to discuss about the virus, who you should call? Answer me. Who should comment about it? Huh? Virologist. I say software engineer. Why? I am talking about antivirus. Right. Now, immediately, what should be the case? Now, is there any connection between a software engineer who works with reference to the virus, antivirus, and to virologist? There's no connection. You see, because we use the word virus, what happens? Huh? That's also you can't see. This virus also you can't see. Therefore, this person can comment on that. This is called apramana. What? Virologist is not qualified to talk about computer virus. Computer virus is what? Is another program, actually. It's not that something has entered inside and all that. Right? It's a program. So what to do now? You have to call this person. So that's called pramana. Same way, reasoning, yukti. Right? Reasoning to be done. And this fellow will bring in wrong pramanas and wrong yuktis to support his objections. See, that is this Vedanta. In Vada, what is it then, sir? In one word, what is Vada? Discussion. So in one word, Vada means discussion. Vedanta means debate. Jalpa means criticism. Now in Vada, what is happening? Remember the backdrop. The backdrop is there is a difference of opinion. Right? It's not that one person understands, I don't know, and other person knows. Therefore, I go to him and asking question. That's not the context. The context here is both are equal. There is neither I surrender to you nor you surrender to me. But there is a conversation happening between you and me. I carry an opinion about something, you carry an opinion about something. Now we have to decide. There, what you do, he says, there is another way of going about it, that's called a discussion. A discussion with the agenda of what? Why we are engaging in the discussion? Both of us are discussing to discover the truth. Right? A discussion to discover the truth is called Vada, where I don't bring in my personal likes and dislikes. You don't bring in your personal likes and dislikes. Without any preferences of our personalities, my preferences, your preferences were not brought into the picture at all. Engaging the appropriate, again, use those two things. What is it? Engaging the appropriate pramana and yukti, reasoning, we arrive at a conclusion. So what is the condition here? The condition is we both sit in for a discussion to establish the truth, to find the truth, the fact, in which both of us don't bring in our personal likes and dislikes, opinions, and both of us engage the right pramana and yukti to arrive at a conclusion. That's called Vada. Right? You have to have that discussion mode. So he says, amongst all those people who have these arguments, I am Vada. The discussion. Any discussion, remember, there are certain rules. It will help you a lot. In a discussion, the first thing you need to remember is this. Anytime you sit for a discussion, rule number one is there are two parties. Both the parties should be given equal time to express themselves. We cannot allow any one party dominating. Like Arjuna will ask only one question, one verse. Krishna will explain for 35 verses. With this full domination of Krishna. Correct. That is not allowed in Vada. In Vada, you and the other both should be given equal, what we call as airtime. You give equal time should be given to both the parties to express themselves, explain themselves. Number one. Number two, the focus of yours always has to be more in listening to what the other person says than preparing yourself to give your reply. Most of the time, if you see, as the other person is speaking, you have already started thinking within yourself what reply I'm going to give. So once you have started preparing you to reply, you are not listening at all actually after that. You are just doing what then? You are just waiting for the other person to take breath. The moment that fellow takes breath, immediately you start. And when you are speaking, what the other person is doing? not listening. Now, it's amazing actually. Now, if you have little objectivity, the best place to practice it, to know this, I don't know how many of you will have that, but best place to practice this is in the train. When you go in the train, so interesting. And these fellows come in to, enter the train. They fight to keep the luggage, have you seen? Go there, early they go, push here, push there, this and all that. In the flight, they don't do it. Yeah? They fight and then, they simply sit and then, they give some drinks, they drink and go off. That's all. Right. In the train, that's not the case. Train, come. Right. After that, 15, 20 minutes later, it's amazing to see. Where are you going? Udyan Express, where will you go? Delhi. Where are you going? I'll say, I'm going to Bombay. Oh, I'm also going to Bombay. First time. Yes, no, this is I've been going every year. I have a conversation. And then, it's so hilarious. Most of the time when I'm sitting there, we simply sitting there and, looking outside the window. And these people, they keep looking at me. I'm not participating in the conversation at all. Because it's 24 hours, It's not like, Bangalore, Chennai, it is too less. In 5 hours, you are there already. Won't work there. After about, half an hour, 1 hour, and all that, they'll open. Like to have? And that's the time I'll turn this side. Till then, I won't even look at those folks. The time I look at them, I say, like to have? What's it? I will get some biscuits, good day biscuit, they'll carry. That's all, nothing, great and all that. They take one biscuit. And then, you're also going to Bombay? I said, no. One word answer. No. Then you have to say, no, where you are going. And they'll be looking at me. Say something, man. And then in a matter of about 1 or 2 hours later, 2-3 hours later, you will find them having very interesting conversations will start. And one topic is always a favorite topic in all time. And these people will be having some conversation. Mostly it will be politics. Suddenly you say, I jump in and say, sir, whatever you say, that is a wrong decision. Demonetization. You don't have nothing in you, right? Demonetization time. You have no money with you. And the fellow is asking, demonetization. That demonetization is a very wrong decision. So, and then they will go. And when they are having that conversation, you stand out and see. When this guy is speaking, the opposite fellow is not listening at all actually. What is he doing? He's waiting for him to stop so that he can start. And if you want to see that even better, go to a party, give them 2 rounds and then see. The 5-6 rounds, nothing will come. Nothing interesting. After that 2 rounds, you see them talking. There's no conversation at all actually. It's monologue. Factually speaking, it's a monologue. Because you are not listening to the other person at all to give a reply. And he is also not listening to you. And the best part is, both of them have not listened to each other and they enjoy the conversation, they say, and they go back. Next time when you come to Bangalore, we'll meet up. There, a fellow getting down in Bombay. He says, in Bangalore we'll meet. And they exchange, phone number, After that, nobody calls. What are you doing there? That's not discussion, please. Discussion means where you listen to the other person's points so carefully. You spend more your time, energy on listening to the other person. Listen to them carefully first. And then what is the final thing, sir? After a lot of discussion, standard thing we'll all come to one thing. What is it? Huh? Agree to disagree. Correct. You're also correct. Agree to disagree means what? I'm not able to prove you are wrong. You're not able to prove I am wrong. To me, I am correct. To you, you are correct. So both are correct. So therefore, discussion doesn't stop there. Vada doesn't stop here. Vada goes to the next step. This is critical. Or most of us will come up to this point. After this point, what happens? Disperse. Vada says no. You go to next step. Next step is you are correct with your opinions. I am correct in my opinions, and my opinion and your opinions are not going to meet. But then, in this current given situation, what are we to do? And come to conclusion there. And execute it. That is the essential step in Vada. Up to this point, it's not Vada. Up to this point, it's just a debate. It's just a sensible debate. That's about it. Vada is this. Samvada is, I am willing to discount my opinion, even though I am not getting convinced about your conclusions. Still, I subscribe to your conclusions, discount my opinion. That's called a samvada. Vada is, I am not willing to subscribe to your conclusions, nor I am willing to discount my opinion. But then, in a given situation, what is the right thing to be done? What is to be done? That's the focus. Right? Suppose it has got no connection to any of these things, that fellow will not ever engage in the discussion itself. What's your opinion about demonetization? As the government of India is going to operate based on what I say or what you say? Your opinion or my opinion has no relevance there. If it has no relevance, Vada itself will not commence. You're all with me? Puriyada? Why he is glorifying Vada? If you see this, most of our conversations will never fall into the category of Vada only. Vada comes into picture. Conditioned what? Your opinion matters. My opinion matters. It is important. In a given situation. Suppose it has got nothing to do with you, let's say. Then what is that called, sir? That is called a TV debate. Where you will call one fellow from Basavangudi, one fellow from Sadashivnagar, one fellow from this. We all will sit and discuss about Ukraine crisis. And from here, this fellow shouts slogan. I vehemently object the decision taken by Mr. Putin. Please listen to me. carefully. That's called a pethal. You know that pethal? Blabbering. Because is he going to listen to you? Huh? In what way you have, and nobody is there in front of you, and they talk. And most of this political, things, if you go, you listen only to such things. And lot of our conversations also will be, it doesn't matter. Even if your conclusions were correct, is it within your purview of operation? Like he says, no, Stephen Covey. Full circles, he says. He says there are two circles in life. One is called a circle of concern. Another one is called a circle of influence. Yes, you are spending your energy in the circle of concern, ignoring the circle of influence. You should concentrate on the circle of influence. There is a possibility for you to do something. Vada will be discussed. That is why it is very important. A discussion to discover the truth. Because it matters. It's not just a theoretical idea here. It matters to me. I have the power to influence. It matters. Therefore, I'm engaging in the conversation. I am engaging in this debate, discussion, arguments, whatever you call it now. But it's better to use those words very carefully. Discussion is different. Debate is different. Criticism is different. If you are criticizing, that's called Jalpa. You simply criticize. You just keep on repeating your opinion. I don't agree. And the fellow will say everything. This. I don't agree. Why? Because I don't like BJP. Therefore, any decision taken them by is wrong. No matter what you do, wrong. Suppose if I like BJP, then what? No matter what they do, correct. That is called a Jalpa. Vedanta is what? Where you enter into a argumentative debates. Where the focus is not more with reference to establishing you are correct. The focus is more with reference to proving you are wrong. By proving you are wrong, I am correct. That's called Vedanta. In Jalpa, he will not give reasons and all those things. He will never listen to you at all, actually. He will go on repeating himself. That's it. Opinionated. He will keep on voicing his opinion. That's it. Jalpa. Vada is different. Either in Vada, either you have to come to a point of compromise or sacrifice. That's Vada. Finally, the husband and wife fighting. What is to be the case, sir? Either one has to be arrived at. What is it? Either a compromise, you also compromise, I also compromise. Or you must have the willingness to sacrifice your opinion. Willingness to correct. That's the meaning of it. Suppose if we say, no, sir, I am not having any willingness to correct, then the starting point of Vada itself is wrong. So the starting point of Vada is what? There is the readiness for me to. In some Vada is what is it? it is pre-decided that I am wrong, you are right. Therefore, I ask you a question. Remember, samvada happens only between teacher and the taught. In no other context, samvada possibility is there. I don't know, you know, according to me. I believe. You yourself may not believe that you know, but I believe you know. Therefore, I ask. And I know, I don't know. I know, you know. Therefore, I question you. That is samvada. In Vada, you are not concluded that, but you are willing to compromise. Suppose if you are able to establish something which is more valuable than what I have, after that, I am willing to do it. So, the starting point of the teacher and the taught will be how? Vada only. It starts as Vada. As that Vada continues, a point would come where it will transform itself into Samvada. Then it is of a different quality by itself. That will not fall into the category of this. So that's why Krishna kept that aside. The best example we have is Vada. Example, immediately you should remember. Shankara and Mandana Mishra. Shankara and Mandana Mishra. These two had that, should see that debate. What they debated, there is a text, conversation. Most people don't read that part. They just come up to the story part and then they skip and go to the conclusion. Finally, Shankara won, Mandana Mishra lost. Then Mandana Mishra took sannyasa and became Shankara's student. After he becomes Shankara's student, he takes the name of Sureshwaracharya and then he asks many questions to Shankara. That doesn't come under Vada. Because straight away Shankara asks Mandana Mishra, what? Bhiksha. Because when a sannyasi meets a grihastha, he has to seek Bhiksha. So Mandana Mishra being a grihastha and Shankara being a sannyasi, Mandana Mishra asks, what is the Bhiksha you want now from me? Ask. Shankara says, I want Vadah Bhiksha. And he uses very specific word, Vada there. Same word he is using here, Krishna. Of arguments, I am Vada. There is no Vidanda in the conversation. There is no Jalpa in the conversation of Shankara and Mandana Mishra. That's the classic example we have in the Shastras of Vada. There we derive points. Out of that, we have to derive all these points. See, meet in the next class.